Hey everyone, my name is Sammy and welcome to the next part in my stream theory playthrough of Assassin's Creed 4, where I will continue to play the game live while also providing analysis and commentary at the same time. Left off in this town last time, a sort of harbor-based little village. What was that location called, actually? Not entirely sure I remember what that was called. Oh, I should say it if I do this. Salt Key Bank. Alright. I thought what I want to do the first thing off on this part of the playthrough is actually check in on the real world stuff, or the Outside-the-Animus stuff. So I'm going to go exit the Animus, and I'm not sure if there's anything's going to happen, because it seems to me like I have not really unlocked anything, or the game has not really communicated to me that I have unlocked anything new in this Outside-the-Animus real world stuff. So I'm not really expecting much from here. However, I think it's been quite a while since I actually exited the Animus, so it's worth a check-in to see if anything has changed, if anything is different. Quick check on the stream while I can. Okay. I probably have some new emails, I would guess. I believe that's in the main menu here. The messages. Only one? All that time playing the main mission, and only one new message. Alright, well. Let's see what that says. Hey there, buddy pal. What's that they've got you're researching over there? Hush hush, top secret, good for you. Abstergo protege, you? At least they trust someone, glad it's you. Okay. He also emailed me before, this Evan Dean. Okay, well. Considering I only received one message since the last time I've been out of here, I really don't think I'm going to be able to see much more here. Right, and I haven't gotten in any new security clearance access, I don't think. Yeah, I still can only go to level 1 security clearance. Level 2 is blocked for me. That's one thing I find immediately strange returning back here, is how this whole Outside the Animus thing seems like a bit of an afterthought, or if not an afterthought, it is at least not very well paced, I guess. Like, I would like to see more more actual stuff in here to return back to at regular intervals throughout my progress in the game. I feel like the intervals when visiting back here to this real world, I'm not sure what to call it, Outside the Animus, seems like a really long thing to say every single time I describe it, but that's the only way I can think of to describe this part of the game. I feel like there could have been more reasons to come out of the Animus and just snoop around our offices here a little bit more often than we're doing now. So I think, and I might be wrong about this, but it seems like there's nothing else to do quite yet. And it seems to confirm that what I originally thought was at a specific moment in the main story, when I unlock something in the Edward Kenway storyline inside the Animus, I will be pulled out for, I don't know, a meeting or something with one of my bosses here at this company, and at that point more story will happen here, and that'll give me more security clearance so I can continue looking around here. I have gotten more of these statues, I guess. That's one thing to say. So I guess as I deal with more of these characters in the game. So that's something, I suppose. But I really don't think there's anything left or anything new here. I've done everything that I can as far as my level 1 security clearance. But you know, it was worth checking out. You never know. Maybe the game. Sometimes you know the game can surprise you with something like, oh, if you exit the Animus at some point between this part and this part, you can activate a new I don't know how to describe it. A new event in that storyline there. So yeah, as far as the Outside-the-Animus stuff, it seems a little disappointing just how far apart these events take place. Okay, let me just do some of these collectibles on this island. Then I can do the assassin contract. Where's this? Below here? So. The other one is... there. Get this thing too. Yeah, there's one. Now, before I go comparing it to previous Assassin's Creed games, I've been realizing, looking at my past archives, that perhaps I've been comparing this game, Assassin's Creed 4, a little too much to previous Assassin's Creed games, and maybe not comparing it, or maybe not letting it stand on its own enough. I would say that, for the most part, even when you take the stuff on its own, like, and not comparing it to other games in the series, you can still recognize pacing issues. I think if you grow wearisome with a certain part of the game, that is still a pacing problem, whether or not it compares a certain way to other games in the series. The fact that other games in the series have done it better as far as the story and pacing go show that maybe will show that there is potential for improvement, or it is not an inherent problem with the game system, because other games in the series have done it better. Like, you know what I mean? If other games can do this whole Assassin's Creed overworld better and have a better paced story as well, while also allowing for non-linearity, then it's not the game's style that is at fault. It is just the game itself, the way it was constructed, and it is potentially something that could have been improved as far as, you know, pacing and story goes. What I recognize is the main weakness in this game, in many portions of the game. So the latest thing I'm pointing out is that the pacing outside the Animus in that storyline is not as good. There could probably be better. Give me more reasons to come out, explore more of my office there, or not. And then, like, from that basis, I can bring in evidence from previous Assassin's Creed games to back up my theory in that regard. So, like, say, I think Brotherhood and perhaps Assassin's Creed 2, those games did the outside of the Animus portion, that storyline, perhaps the best in the entire series, and look to those as ways to improve the pacing. Those... where is this treasure chest? It's below. Those games have had... games were able to make that storyline work with greater amounts of intervals, I suppose, or greater amounts of things to do that would unlock periodically over the course of the game. So it would work the same way as it does here. Everything would be tied. The progression would be tied to the main storyline progression. So when you reach event A, B, and C, for instance, then that would unlock events A, B, and C in the storyline, accordingly with each event. Like event A in the side story would only unlock after you see event A in the main story. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that they were just more storyline in the side quests outside the Animus. That side storyline was just better paced in Brotherhood and Assassin's Creed 2. Other games had that stuff as well, but I don't think those examples were as strong. So I'm using those two games as my primary examples of what to look to as a how to do it right, how to do that outside the Animus stuff correctly. I think Brotherhood, especially in my opinion, is the best out of that because that was the most interesting storyline. You learned the most about backstory and what was going on. It in itself stood as an interesting side story, but also informing the main story, and gave you enough reason to exit the Animus whenever you felt like it, and you would always have something new to do. Here, it's like, sure, I can exit the Animus whenever I want, but I guess the problem with the bad pacing is, if I just decide to exit the Animus like I did today, I did earlier in this part, there's nothing for me to do, because there's just not enough content, there's not enough story there. It's just really thin. Now, does that mean, if they did add more story there, that it would automatically be better? It would be a good story? No, that's not necessarily true. Like, quantity does not guarantee quality. I'm just saying that as a side part of the game, it just seems thin because there's just nothing to do. And the things to do in those games are just spread out too far apart, perhaps. Okay, so tavern's unlocked now. What else is there left to do here? Oh, there's some more stuff. Seems to me, besides the city environments, anything that has to do with the story is probably the game's main weakness. Like, if I had to point two weaknesses of Assassin's Creed 4, it would be those two things: the parkour, the city environments, as one thing, like, because they are related. You don't do parkour out in the sea. The entire experience of the city environments, including the parkour, free running, doing now, is generally a negative experience for the most part. Especially, it's worse off in the bigger cities. In these smaller areas, it's not as bad. And then the second major flaw of the game would be the storyline, and any of the storylines, not just the main story, but also side stories like the Outside-the-Animus storyline. Also, it seems to take cue from the main story in it not being developed enough. There just seems to... it lacks development, it lacks... Alright, that's a shanty, I have to chase it, okay. Now, I realize that the game could be doing this on purpose. Like it deliberately wanted a thin storyline to allow for a freer experience when exploring the overworld. That makes sense to some extent. Like, the less storyline that you have, the less main story you have, the less you are directed along a very linear path along the game. There is some merit to that argument, but I think perhaps the game takes it to a bit of an extreme that I don't like. I think at one point I offered an example of the other end of that extreme, which is Assassin's Creed 3, which had such a strong main storyline that it basically held back the free roaming experience of just exploring its world. Like, there was just so much to do as far as the main storyline that if you took time to explore, then it would take pretty much forever just to finish. Well, forever. It would take quite a long time, much longer than you'd expect, to actually make it through the primary storyline, that critical path of missions. Just because that mission, that critical path, that main storyline was really long, and I guess how I would describe it is it monopolized the experience. So yeah, that would be the other end of the spectrum as far as a balance between the free roaming exploration of just of the overworld experience and the directed, more linear experience of the main story. You could put Assassin's Creed 4, on one end of the spectrum, and Assassin's Creed 3 on the other. They're on opposite sides. I'm not sure if if 4 is like the most free roaming in the game with the weakest main story, but it is pretty far along that end of the spectrum of not enough main story direction, at least in my opinion. What is left here? I think it's just the assassin contract, right? And there are two of them, so okay. Hopefully the assassin contract is in this island. Takes me away. That means add more time. This. Okay, assassin contract. Shady business. The right-hand man of a powerful slave trader is believed to be headed toward the Matanzas plantation for some dodgy business. Find the target and kill him. Okay, hopefully that's not too far away. Yeah, it's not that far away. We can head there. Should I pick up this treasure chest here along the way? I suppose I could do that. A quick way down my ship. Now, according to my game's progress tracker, I am roughly 50% of the way through the game, so there is entirely an opportunity for the game to pick up the pace and solve a lot of its problems, but that's just how I feel about the game's story. Storylines on both the main story front as well as other storylines like the Outside-the-Animus side story. Okay, so turn around all the way. Not even a challenge.
Get the main screen! Crowd on every inch of stage!
You know, one symptom of how I could have, how I could have told earlier on that the game didn't really focus on much story elements was how it didn't really develop Kenway much as a character. I mean, the closest that it got were those, like, those flashback cutscenes that we saw earlier on. At specific points in the story. I feel like that wasn't really enough. I would have liked something like the Ezio flashback missions that we saw in Brotherhood, which had you do actual missions, you know, proper Assassin's Creed type missions, as part of reliving events in his past, and then you got to learn a bit about his character that way by actually interacting and living his life, carrying out missions that way. And I think I would have liked to see some of that in Kenway, like in Kenway's story. Maybe have some similar types of Kenway backstory missions to learn more about his character. Complete. And that would have also gave us more sorts of side missions to occupy us. The great thing about side missions and side stories is that it does help you explore the overall narrative in a non-linear fashion. You know, at your own pace, whenever you feel like it. So, like, each individual one of those storylines might be linear, and you explore them in a linear fashion. But you could say hop between those storylines as you saw fit. Let's see what we have here. I think that's one good thing about those side stories and side missions is that if you ever get tired of a story or if you get tired of a pacing, you get tired of the pacing of the way the game is exploring that that side of the narrative. It could be the main mission or one of the side stories. You had options to choose from to just to provide a lot of variety. Variety is a good thing in general. In this instance, like, a good example is how the game could improve is if there were more of those types of side missions. I might have been able to opportunistically hop between those side missions and explore them, so that I would be able to fill in a really long trek to the next main mission, which we saw some of those in this game. So I might not have even noticed the long trek to the next main mission if there were more things to do in between, besides just free-form travel, exploring islands and doing ship combat and random assassin contracts. Um, you know, much of what's positive about this game, I think I discussed this, was it pretty much rests squarely on the strength of this sailing experience, naval combat, anything to do with being on your ship and just exploring that pirate life. And that's probably a little bit too much to rest the game on, especially since the game itself doesn't take too much of advantage of that type of experience. The side missions and whatnot, side stories, could involve that side of the game a little bit more, I think. So far, going off of, or expanding upon what I said, reiterating what I said in the last part, my playthrough, I think, while it is good, it's just plain not enough to make it my favorite in the series. It's enough to make it a good game. It can rest on the strengths of this ship combat and sailing experience for me to consider it a good game. But to make it my favorite, or to consider it my favorite in the series, it's just not enough. It's just resting too much on this without expanding upon it. One thing I know I said I would do in the last part was explore some of those treasure maps. And I think just to expedite things a little further, if the treasure maps are too far away, I think I might fast travel whenever appropriate to those treasure maps. And I'll make an exception for fast traveling just for the purpose of getting those treasure maps. I'm just gonna ram it. Okay, so somewhere around here. That's it. Interesting to see that he's actually on the smaller ship there. Yeah, that looks like okay, I should have been focusing more on my target than fighting that guy. Hopefully I can stay within range. Fairly forgiving in this chase scene here. Seems to let him go very far. Oh, he actually hit land, made berth there. Why? Okay. Yeah, I see the guy running now. Not gonna let me dock. Yeah, it's fine. Don't need to dock. I'll just try and sneak my way. Capture him that way. I have a treasure map which seems to link to this location. Okay, so I'll make sure to remember that when... After I finish this. Okay, so I have a treasure map here. I'm here, I might as well do that. There's the treasure map. Okay, so... possibly this one? 633784. Right, I guess I can look at... Alright, the coordinates I am 339,646. So any map that is around there. Aha, this one. 333,650. Must be it. So, house to that area, or that area to the house. After that, you can see this cave. Okay, so if I can spot that. Okay, this is the house ahead of me. I think it might be pointing over there. Aha. Found my first treasure map. Alright, so, I don't know if you're still here, Synthetic Code. I just saw your message, but you said, how's it going? I'll say, going well. Well, how about you? How's it going for you? Hopefully you're still here. Yeah, I'm sorry, I still don't have that reflex of looking at chat very often, because I don't get too many people in my chat. But I do eventually look over there and see you there. Okay, so I don't think there's anything left here. I have to head back to that island. Finish that last contract. I know there's one treasure in Havana, but I think I'll just fast travel there once I'm done with this. Keep on turning.
Get the mains free! Get those bars free! Let's loose all and crimps on to the wing! Sponsors, let's ride this squall! All the way! Fire!
Let's see. Side stories. I'll say, oh, synthetic code. You are playing this also. Pretty cool. I don't know how far you are in the game, but I'd be happy to discuss it with you. If you have any thoughts on stuff that I'm saying at the moment. In general, just discussing what's happening in the game in a given moment. Not too much going on right now, mostly just exploring, doing random assassin contracts as I slowly make my way over to the next mission. I'm not really sure what that mission is. Oh, it's over here. Alright, so I'll make my way over that way. It's good that it's over there because then I can do all this stuff here as well. And I'm sure I'll have more to talk about once I head towards the main mission and see some new stuff. It's a really narrow place to do some ship combat here. Oh, you're trying to 100% each island? That's basically what I'm doing, just along the way of completing the main game at the same time. Okay, I think mortar. Find mortar on this guy. There we go. That was a close one. He was kicking my ass there. I try to do the main story stuff last in these games, so once I open up all the areas, it's grind time. I see. Do the main story stuff last. Okay. Wait, what a relief you gonna upgrade next on your ship? I have my ship fairly well upgraded. Sometimes I fall into a bad rhythm in the ship combat. Mostly I can take down these ships really easily. I haven't had a devastating loss in ship combat in quite a while. Oh wait, I don't want that. My pistols here. There we go. Quickly finish off the battle. So yeah, interesting to see you do the main story stuff last. So you really focus on exploration right up front, try to get everything done on the map, and then do the story. That's an interesting way to play the game. I never really heard that, or it never really occurred to me to do it like that. I discussed, I think, earlier on in my playthrough, well, many times really, that I need kind of both a balance of exploration and story. So when I get tired of one, I go to the other, and I go back and forth. I was complaining a bit about how the game doesn't have enough in terms of the story. Like, the story is kind of thin. So I would often get tired of the exploration. Finishing up, collecting all the stuff in the islands, trying to 100% complete the game. That's what I mean by exploration. Do all those side missions. Okay, so not a gunboat. This one I should be able to do pretty well. Yeah, so once you get in a good rhythm with these ships, they basically have no opening to hit you. That's ultimately how you want to get it done. Just keep on hammering them. Finishing up the boarding here. I don't need to repair. You figure you'll have all the upgrades and should make it easy to do the main stuff. It's kind of boring after a while doing all the collecting. Yeah, okay, I see. I'm glad somebody agrees with me there. And I'm not just not crazy. I hear from all over the place, many different sources, that people love doing the ship combat stuff, the naval stuff, and I feel like there is reason to love that, but you know, there can be too much of a good thing. Okay, 3 more dudes. Okay, there we go. For you, I would actually suggest to do maybe some more of the main mission stuff, just because there isn't actually all that much of it, and from what I've seen, the game does a pretty good job of making sure you go to every single part of the map. So I would say, no, don't be afraid to do the main mission stuff. You know, as you're playing, and especially if you've already done level 4. I think I might want to go back to level 3 here. I'd say, yeah, if you've already been doing the exploration, you should be pretty well upgraded to the point where you should be able to handle the main mission stuff. Alright, so it says I'm level 2, but I'm basically 1 away from just level 3. So if I just destroy one of these ships here, I'll get back to level 3. This is basically the sweet spot for where I am right now. Destroy this one. Yeah, now I'm back to level 3. Level 4 wanted level, it seems like you start to see... That's when you start to see Man of War hunter ships come after you, and I'm not sure if I'm quite ready to deal with all those yet. I don't have a choice at this point. Only 2 more islands left to go. Right, so I guess you're saying you might as well finish the exploration. Alright, well, since you're basically done, then, yeah, have fun with exploring the main story then, once you get to that part. What's going on here? Oh, that guy's a pirate ally. Okay, so... what else do I have to say here? See. Wonder what... I've seen this... seen one of these before. These are interesting side missions, I think, but again, fairly weak on the story. Yeah, okay, you're on sequence 8. Sequence 8. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. I thought... See, what I thought you meant was that you were doing all the exploration, completing the map before you did the story. But since you're at sequence 8, I guess you... I guess you have made significant progress. Like, I thought you were way earlier on in the game than sequence 8. So I see what you mean. Before you finish it, before you finish the final thing. Have I beaten it yet? No, I haven't beaten it. I'm playing this for the first time, and I'm basically trying to make a series where I'm commenting on the game as I play it. Where's this assassin thing? There it is. So I'm trying to give like my live reactions to the game, first impression type of thing, as I play it live. But I have played like I don't know how many hours of this I've played so far. Like I guess 20 hours I'm into it. So I'm fairly confident in where I am in the game right now. I pretty much know what I'm doing. So I'm not like a newbie at this, but I haven't seen the end of the story, so no spoilers, please. Your target is a Templar agent currently posing as gunner in the fort at Dry Tortuga. Find and kill him. Pretty sure I already cleared that fort, so just a matter of getting to that fort. Okay, that's a little far away. I just fast traveled there. I mean, there's not going to be much to do along the way. I already explored all the islands in between. I think I'm just going to fast travel there. I think if there was stuff to do, if there was some more islands to explore along the way, then I wouldn't be so willing to fast travel, because I already thoroughly explored this quadrant in the map. I don't see any reason to not use the fast travel. Secret synthetic code says I'm also loading up to face those legendary ships. Okay, cool, loading it to YouTube. Are you asking me if I'm uploading it to YouTube? Loading up to face those. If you're asking me if I upload my stuff to YouTube, then yeah, I do that. Once I finish each playthrough here, or each part of my playthrough, I do upload the archives over to YouTube. I have all of, I think I'm up to like part 25. So pretty significant amount of gameplay there. Okay, so this is another stealth portion. Trying not to be seen. Come on, Kenway. There we go. So, what if I just, like, shoot these barrels here? I think that was the idea. Okay, yeah. You were talking about uploading. Definitely a lot of footage, yeah. I think I'm, the important part of this is the live part, that is the thing, so I'm not really interested in editing it down or anything like that. The series is meant to be a live reaction type of thing. So the real point is the live show that I'm doing right now on Twitch, and the YouTube stuff is mainly just for archive purposes. I don't really know much about video editing, so that's why I just put them up raw, unedited footage. Okay, so that, I think I'll fast travel back to here and then continue exploring along the way here. Stop here along the way, I suppose. So, that island, Salt Key Bank, should be done now. Continue on forward. Sounds like a good idea. Oh, thank you, yeah. I haven't seen too many people do that style of Let's Play, so I thought that would be a good place, be a good thing to try to do. It is fairly difficult to keep up your commentary while also playing the game. Like, sometimes I get lost in the game, or I'm doing some really heavy combat, so it's difficult to keep that up. Otherwise, I think I've discussed a lot of interesting stuff. Like, I've learned a lot about this game. I've discussed many different points about it. Each video, one thing I do for the archives is I actually watch it again and then point out each of the discussion topics that I have discussed and mark the time code so that you can actually skip to that discussion. Makes it a little bit more convenient for people on watch, so they don't have to like watch the entire thing. If they want to hear me talk about a specific topic in the description. Okay, keep up the pressure. Oh boy, that was really... where is this? There we go. Okay. Pretty tough ship, but I can board it now. Before this other one gets to me. Okay, so 15 dudes and a captain. Captain. There he is. This guy will not die. Okay, that was 15. Almost died there. This ship was pretty darn tough, but alright, I'll be right back, changing my phone battery. Okay. See you then. Not much is going on anyway, so sure I'll be able to get to something a little bit more interesting to discuss. See. Made sure to repair.
Ready to fire, sir!
This one I should have no trouble with. Okay, I need to repair once again. I don't think I really need ships for my fleet. So repair will be the thing.
Lost get his door! Pull them in with a will!
One thing I've been focusing a lot on the story and the way the missions go. You know, there's a lot of aspects of the game that I really end up discussing at not quite as much length as maybe I'd want to. Like, one thing I might want to discuss is like the graphics system, for instance. That's something I don't really bring up all that often. Occasionally I'll bring up how the game will look really nice, or I'll point out a really good-looking set piece of the game, like I saw in the diving, but I don't really pinpoint the graphics in particular. And I think that after a certain point in the game, later on you don't even really notice the graphics all that much. You really only notice it when you see a new area, like I saw in the diving mission, which you experience fairly late in the game anyway. Yeah, repair. I guess for the most part I have nothing new to say about the actual graphics, but it's probably worth talking about how that's something that's only important during that discovery phase of the game, when you're just easing into the game for the first time, trying to figure it out, wrap your head around what the game is all about. That's when you notice, say, the graphic system, the way the game looks most. Or that's when you most notice the way the game looks and how it presents itself. As the graphic style here doesn't seem all that different from previous Assassin's Creed games. And most of the legwork as far as the style has been done, established in those games previously. Although I think most of the stuff on the graphics front, the new additions that this game does, basically something that you don't really notice. Like, you really have to analyze the game deeply to really notice the changes in the way the graphics presentation works. I think, like, it stands to reason that presenting the sea overworld will be drastically different than presenting or constructing. Although rendering is the word. Rendering is the correct word. Drastically different than rendering a city environment. So if it's any different that way from previous Assassin's Creed games, I'm sure the way this overworld is constructed, the way it's loaded, has to be different in order to make this whole sailing system work. Well, that's my thinking anyway, that the main reason why I can't really notice all that much of a difference between this game and previous Assassin's Creed games, besides the obvious, you know, naval versus city-based environments, I'm talking about art style and graphics capability of the game, is that a lot of the changes are more background, technical details. As far as an overworld is concerned, I would say it is impressive on that front. You could probably say that this is the largest... Oh, you're back, synthetic code? Okay. Got your battery all fixed. Continue. This overworld has to be the largest in terms of just overall area. of any Assassin's Creed games up until this point, at least. I don't know if Unity or Assassin's Creed Rogue improve upon it any better, because I haven't played those yet. Okay, where am I going? Guess I'll go here next. Be the closest. As far as aspects like the weather system and the way the sailing works overall, those improvements were already done in Assassin's Creed 3, so I can't really say they are entirely new for this game. So I think most of the development of 3 and 4 were done basically at the same time. Why we see sailing systems in both games. In 3 it was like a rudimentary style, like instanced sort of experience, while here it's more of an open, free-form experience. I think maybe since the reason they had more time to develop the whole sailing stuff for this game. Oh, there's a bottle in it. So, I guess the too long didn't read version, the TLDR version of all that, is that the only thing I would have to say about the graphics presentation is that it's definitely impressive on a technical level. I can't discount that, but it's really hard to see like any specific things, point to any specific details, at least this late in the game, that really stand out, besides that overworld, that really impressive large overworld, and how it's able to render all that. From an art style perspective, it's just like standard Assassin's Creed fare. I don't think it does anything super new in that regard. Okay, so, what am I seeing here? Check the map. Main Animus fragment right now. God, I'm a little too late. Synthetic says, especially for a launch title. I guess. Oh, that dude is still there. I guess it's technically a launch title of PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, but you have to also consider that pretty sure there are also versions for 360 and PS3, right? The fact that it can run on those games, I think that stands as a testament to the engine design of this game, that it can scale that much from between 360 and the PS3 to all the way up to the Xbox One. It has a I guess a great range of flexibility. Where was that treasure chest? It's up there. ultimately, I think when you see games that are cross-generation like that, they're still held back a little bit by the older systems.
Come here, swine! I demand an apology!
Okay, so
Leave my mother out of this, or I swear I'll kill you twice over!
let's berserk dart that guy just for fun. I can also blast them this way too. Didn't get to blast them, but I would still call that a success. Really. Okay, so treasure chest in here. Oh, well, there it is. Big glowing thing. 2 more. Up there? Okay. Okay, I've done 2 of these smugglers then so far. It just seems to be pretty light as far as a mission goes. Oh, where is it? Oh, I see it now. Just basically like a level that's a restricted zone, and just get the chests. Not all that much to it. I guess rowboat here will get me back to my ship fast. Another example of a mission that could use, or a mission type that could use a little bit more story meat to help out with the narrative here. So I think I said I was going to go after this.
Loose and catch the wind! They're locked! Do not leave them muzzled! Loose all! Let's move! Unfurl aloft! Man your sheets!
Okay, so talking about Unity, next game, and then technically you could say this has. Okay, so just a ton of money. 2,000 is not really all that much. Maybe earlier on, this one would have been juicy as far as a catch. Not all that much anymore. And I totally forgot that Assassin's Creed 4, technically a launch title, a cross-generation. Yeah, you're right, Synthetico. The Templar hunts really are the only ones that contain any real story. Right. I think I figured that out eventually, just based on the types of missions that I've seen. But I was curious that, well, really only the Templar hunts were the ones that had any sort of meaningful story content. That's a weird glitch. Check out this bird. Okay, so I was starting to form a thought about Assassin's Creed 4 and Unity. I think it was about developing for new systems and being held back by old technology, but while also getting used to new console tech. Like, even though this game was made to work on the newer systems when it came out, it couldn't really introduce any super awesome graphics effects. Like, say, Unity's crowds, for instance. Larger crowds, I guess, was one of their graphics technology that they were able to add because they had the hardware muscle to handle it. So they were able to. I think there are some aesthetic things that this game can do for more meatier systems, like the PS4 and Xbox One and PC. Still, overall, the system was made to function all the way down to last-gen consoles. Alright, so hunters are on my tail. Okay, so meanwhile, Unity, even though they were able to introduce a lot of graphics effects, it was still so early in the maturity, overall maturity of the new consoles, that you could tell that they didn't have as much familiarity with with the new consoles, to the point where we saw those really strange glitches happen. So really, either way, you can't really take full advantage of the new tech. You know, with the way we saw it with Assassin's Creed 4 or with Unity being so new. You really have to wait, well, maybe several games into the series before you. Oh, there it is. Several games into the cycle of the consoles, the new consoles, before you really see it hit its stride. So maybe Unity will be really glitched and not work all that well, but the following game after that should be pretty cool, as well as stable. So I don't know. Probably by now, since it's like so long after the game released, Unity, I mean, almost a year, I think. We're approaching a year. Those glitches probably were fixed. Can't confirm that myself. What else can I do here? Can I? The thing I haven't been doing is Edward upgrades. Can I do any new pistol sets, for instance? Crafting? Let's check crafting. Yeah, I need humpback whale skin, deer hide, great whale. I thought it was doing some of this hunting stuff, but apparently not enough. I need a few more skins for these. Okay, need ocelots. Okay, these are just outfits anyway. Most of this stuff I don't really need. Possibly. I have to keep in mind to do more of this hunting as well as harpooning. Play the China one, different style. Oh right, there is some DLC, I guess. Downloadable mission. Yes. I wouldn't know much about that since I'm still working my way up to that game. In any case, I think it's time for a mission. Should have time for one more mission, then I can do some more exploration later on. I'm gonna start winding down the stream, so hopefully I have enough time for this mission here. I think we have been wanting like an Asian style of Assassin's Creed game taking place in China or wherever. You know, for a long time we wanted it. Probably as long as we wanted a modern day Assassin's Creed type of game. Like, and it seems like only now are we just getting first taste at a Chinese Assassin's Creed. style game. I'm sure the cities there would look beautiful. They could really make use of tech and strong art style with the way that the cities are designed as well as the buildings architecture. Very different from the Western focused games that we've seen so far. Okay, so it's on a ship currently. Hopefully that means this ship will be. Hopefully the ship means that this mission will be a sea-based one, because I think the best missions so far have been taking place on sea rather than on land. Okay, here we go. Have I played all the previous titles? Yeah, I played everything up until this point, except for the PS Vita one, Liberation.
Were you attacked?
Other way round.
Yeah, let
It
this
were
play.
Blackbeard who struck first. Opened fire on a British man of war, the pilot.
What in God's name for?
Still searching for medicines, but he's gone barmy if you ask me.
I'll bring him home.
Leave him, man. He's heaped this trouble on himself.
Okay, so looks like this is going to be a fine sea-based one, unless the only thing I haven't liked so far is the tailing mission that takes place in the sea. Those have been pretty awful as far as ship combat goes. Use more of that.
All the men, get off the wind! Hold down and crew up! Furl those men!
Okay, can these ships let me go?
Loose and trim to! Unfurl the larboard! Man your sheets! Some sort of cargo there, sir!
Okay. So these are not the ships I'm looking for. Let's see. The suspense so far is really nice in this mission, I guess. Very quiet
Captain,
and
there's a wreck yonder. Looks recent.
I see it. Let's hope
Okay.
Thatch hasn't come to the same
back.
end.
We must try. Sir, to starboard! Have shortened sail! Get off the squall!
Blast. This is getting well out of hand.
A dozen crates of medicine should not be so hard to come by.
That ain't my meaning. It's Thatch and Hornigold and this pointless feud of theirs.
You have to be mindful of those.
But both men have their hearts in
Well, the rogue wins for one, but also
But is that the best
optional
course
objectives
for us?
here.
Saving a city that ain't worth much. We're not men made to govern. We take and spend and live harder wherever we go.
What solution would you propose?
The answer's in wealth, power, not competence. If we found the observatory, we'd see enough money to buy a whole feudal. Or it might be lord over his kings and emperors like they was peasants themselves.
A lot of large talk, Captain. But is it your crew you sail for, or yourself?
I do the best for these men. Just don't sit with it. I feel like I'm running errands, not living my life.
Alright, so another example there of a lot of background dialogue happening while we're trying to figure out this mission. So far, I don't think I've liked the way the game has presented that stuff. Very difficult to try and pay attention to the dialogue while also
Should be nearby, Captain.
attempting the mission here.
Larboard, Captain! Human flocks, Grease the topsail! Gallant!
Are there any more optional objectives here? Okay, no, just that. So, should be fine as far as this mission so far.
Ride the wind! For all she's worth!
Protestant. There. Port. I'm just looking for this ship, I think. So I'd say that's one thing. I think every time I've seen it so far, it has been something that the game perhaps relies too much upon. Is that sort of dry.
Toast the gallants and oil!
Royal James.
Someone blowing it! Red!
Restoration. I don't think I'm gonna be able to escape this guy. Nope.
They're so exposed! Take the shots up!
Awaiting orders! Fire! Come! Gallant! Wild! Here it comes! Send it up!
Oh no, 2 more chips now. Chips at once. Okay, so try and finish this quickly.
Awaiting a brace yourselves!
Not bad. Alright. So, for the most part, I only see that story stuff, the dialogue. I get it when I watch the archives of these videos. It's really difficult to pay attention to that stuff while I'm in the moment here and paying attention to the missions. So I'd say, once again, it is one type of technique, I guess, that the game relies upon a little too much. Wait, what is he doing? What is Edward doing? More. And that's 15. Still haven't found this ship. Getting tied down by these other skirmishes here. I think I will repair just as a precaution. Ship is not over there. Can't see.
Let's get moving! Come on, you slugs! Man those ships!
I think I'm just for the sake of time, I'm going to finish this up. Like that. Diamond. Apparently that ship saw me, so I have to deal with that. I wonder if I'm gonna have to fight every single ship in this area just because I accidentally saw one.
Ready to fire, sir! Hold down and crew up! Give me some speed! Back over, sir! Stop right through there! Swim us off the wind! Loose mainsail! Every last scrap of that on the wind!
Okay. Get this over with. find this actual ship that I need to find.
Get up to planks!
Curious. What else is here? I think I've seen a mission quite like this before in the game. This one seems to be fairly unique. Kind of a hunting style mission out at sea. So first reaction is I kind of like the way this is going here. Making pretty good use of your scope to try and scout ships. Delve, okay. It's also making an actual use, a gameplay use of this graphical effect, as the mist here is making it difficult just to see every ship around you. You actually have to get in close, kind of risk combat with one of these ships, Duke, you know, as you hunt for them. So far, I'm really liking how this whole thing works. Royal, okay. Still not finding the ship.
I would say the danger has passed.
Queen Anne's Revenge. Build the dove. What is this ship? Seems to be docked here. Might be what I'm looking for. Aha, there it is.
Addy, see that? It's her captain, Queen Anne's Revenge. And she's in a bad way. No time for a boat. Thatch is outnumbered. The crew will understand. Beat the quarters, lads! We're sailing into hell!
Reach Blackbeard.
Cliff ahead, sir! Ease off the wind! Hold it all sail! Douse those nails! Thatch is over.
I'm a little concerned that we're going on land now, but I suppose it's unavoidable and to eventually get on land. Some parts of the game. Kill guards stunned by smoke bombs. Okay, so hopefully I have enough smoke bombs.
Stirred up a nest of trouble, Thatch. In service of a noble cause! That deserves that. Aye, the galleon nearby. And if we crash these lobsters quick, we might catch up.
Need one more.
Hang in there, buddy. Keep your arms up and get back to the sea.
Alright, optional objectives all done.
For certain, there's more to be learned by doing. And then
oh man. There we go. That's the counter.
legends ain't born from mildness. Gentlemen, our galleon has reappeared. Heads up. Back to my ship, British, please. He'll not slip away now. Oh, this is too much.
Board the man of war. So we're actually gonna fight on the man of war ship? Okay, that's a good way to redeem itself. Access to a whole man of... Alright, so this is gonna be exciting. I think I might have to reset the chat here. It seems to have frozen on my my client or on my Twitch app here, so if you're talking in the chat, it's possible I didn't see your messages, your new messages. Let me reset that now. Twitch's, I have to say, Twitch's app for mobile isn't all that great. Seems like there's still a lot of work to go on that front. From a streamer's perspective, a broadcaster's perspective, it's actually difficult to work around what you need to make sure to do for the stream, or for it to work on mobile. For the stream to work on mobile, you need to make sure you don't make your video too intense to. Okay, I'm seeing stuff in the chat now. I'm King Slaw. That is the latest thing I said. So I'm sorry, Synthetic. I'm glad you're still here. If you said anything before that, I didn't end up seeing it because I guess my Twitch app froze here. Okay, let's continue on. So we're on a man of war. Wonder how. Whoa! Look at this arc. Holy crap! Huge arcs for these. So I have mortars, right? Not sure how the mortars work.
Don't let her out of your sight!
Bam! That's powerful shit. Oh, there's an island there. That's gonna slow me down. Man, the firepower on this ship is ridiculous. Have to head out in a few minutes to pick up Fiance. Follow button. Oh, thank you very much for the follow. Yeah, I don't have any systems in place to tell me if any new followers followed, so appreciate you telling me so I can actually say thanks. But yeah, that's cool if you have to go. After this mission, I'm going to be ending the stream anyway. It'll be the last thing for. It'll be the last thing for today. Kill the captain. Oh wow, you didn't catch anything there. That's funny. Okay, at least I didn't die. I don't know what you're doing, Kenway. Why can't you grab anything? Are there any optional objectives for this? No. Okay, so I literally just have to kill this guy.
I'm not a man accustomed to murder, Captain. But if you'd taken quarter, you'd not be sleeping now.
Sack of muzzle gobshite. You'll be hanged and sun-dried just as them there were in Boston.
The King's called for a pardon.
Captain, we've searched the hold. It's a middle.
Alright, hang on, A09. I'm gonna let the cutscene play and then I'll answer your question there. Give me a second.
Thank you, Mr. Hans.
We cannot resupply Nassau out here by force and accident alone. We should go to Charlestown for the lot.
Hello? Are we victorious? I fear I am not built for the fatigue and care required to live as a man of fortune.
Meet me in Charlestown. 1 month from today.
Okay, so mission. I think this one's pretty good. Maybe even 5 stars good. Focused on, you know, the sea ship combat, letting us go on a man of war first time. Definitely love that. I wish I had more time to really discuss this mission, but as I said before, I'm going to wind down the stream. So, A09, you have a question, where are you from? I am from the United States, the state of Rhode Island, which is in northeastern United States, in New England, rather. So, yeah, hey, how are you doing, A09? Unfortunately, you know, I'd love to talk with you a little bit more, but as I said, I am winding down the stream now, so hopefully I can catch you next time. Can talk some more then. So, winding down the stream, I will say if you'd like to watch any of the archives for my playthrough up until now, you can go over to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/YamsterSam, and you can also follow me on Twitter @YamsterSam. Of course, if you'd like to know when I go live on Twitch, you can just hit the follow button on Twitch, or of course, if you're watching this on the archive, you can go to twitch.tv/YamsterSam. Follow me there. So, until next time, I don't know if there's going to be any more cutscenes after this, so... Hey. Alright, no. Until next time, I will see you later.